Hey boys, so I'm Pneumatic. I'm a Masters Grandmaster level Twitch OTP. Been Masters, Grandmaster since about Season 12. Currently sitting in, low Masters at the moment, just as a Twitch OTP. At the moment, I'll say that the champion doesn't feel the best at the moment, but you can definitely make it work. As I'll explain when I go into the runes, the Lethal Tempo Space Glider build doesn't really work anymore. It is pretty dead, but you can make the champion work with PTA and a bit of a less flashy build, but the champion's doable at the moment. He's not the best, but you can make it work, and that's what I'll go over in this video. So in this video, I will be going over a series of topics. First off, when to pick Twitch, the runes to pick, the build, what to do in the laning phase, what to do in the mid game, and what to do in the late game. So we'll cover like a vast majority of the topics surrounding Twitch, and hopefully you learn a thing or two. You can pick up something in this guide that you can take into your solo queue games. But yeah, let's get into it. So Twitch is not really in a state anymore where you can just blind pick Twitch into the enemy team. He's not strong enough to be able to pull something like that off, so definitely do not do that. Your win rate will tank if you start doing that. Back in early Season 14, when Twitch was really strong, you could get away with it, but you can't at the moment, so just don't. There's way too many champions that can counter Twitch, which are popular right now. And I'm mainly talking about roles that are not ADC. I'm talking about jungle, top lane, mid lane support. Support's a big one, honestly. So with that being said, if the enemy does lock in a squishy immobile ADC, just for the sake of drafting in your champ select, it's fine to pick Twitch at that point because you'll know you'll at least be somewhat useful. You'll be able to have a good time cutting down that enemy ADC and at least 1-for-1ing in team fights and damaging everyone else in the process before you die eventually. Yeah, these are champions like Jinx, Sivir, MF, Ashe. You'll just beat the fuck out of them. Some of them are lane bullies, but as long as you just don't shit the bed in lane, you'll be fine in team fights. But yeah, I would never recommend fully blinding Twitch at the moment, which is why right now ADCs get pushed to first pick a lot at the moment, and the rest of your team will throw a massive fucking fit if you don't. First picking Twitch right now is just, it feels so bad that I just wouldn't do it. But with that being said, there's two kinds of champions that really fuck over Twitch that you don't want to see on the enemy team, and if you do see them, I probably wouldn't pick Twitch. So the first one is point and click long range CC. It makes your ult mean pretty much nothing when you can just get engaged on at your ult range. It's the reason why Twitch is strong, and like if they just shut that down immediately, there's no point in picking the champion. These are champions like Nautilus and Vi. If the enemy picks Nautilus, I'd be very hesitant picking Twitch, just because they will ult you and you will just be fucking useless. It sucks to play in, it feels bad to play into as well, it's just not fun, and you're kind of flipping your team being good, right? The second are champions that you can't hit. Twitch's ult window is only 6 seconds long, and you're just not that useful of a champion, especially in team fights when you don't have your ult. So you need to make those 6 seconds count. When the enemy picks champions that have abilities that make it so you can't hit them with your ult, Twitch's whole engage and his ult becomes far less useful. And these are champions like Jax, Xin Zhao, Gwen, Nyla, and Samira. Especially Nyla. If the enemy picks Nyla, I would not fucking pick Twitch. That is the worst matchup in the world to fucking play into, I swear to God. But yeah, Jax's evade, Xin Zhao's ult, Gwen's W. Make it so when you're in the middle of a team fight and you start ulting, you don't actually do damage. Yasuo is another big one. He's my permaban at the moment because for some fucking reason, he's really popular at the moment. Those are the two kinds of champions that I would not pick Twitch into, and is the reason why I wouldn't first pick blind Twitch, because if these champions get picked, your life becomes a lot more miserable. And as I said, the reason why these champions are such an issue at the moment for Twitch is because Twitch is simply just not that strong right now. Back when Twitch was strong, I'm talking about a year ago, when he was really strong, you could blind Twitch into champions like this and you'd be fine because the champion was just so strong. So when should you pick Twitch? Like I said, if the enemy ADC is easy for you to abuse as Twitch, it's a good time to pick Twitch. But otherwise, you pick Twitch when the enemy team doesn't have the qualities that I've just mentioned with those two kinds of countering champions. So that's kind of like the scenario where you do pick Twitch. Now, for runes, there are 3 main rune pages, which are contestants for what you should be building on Twitch. And I guess if we just jump straight into it, by the way, I won't be covering AP Twitch because I'm not a fucking pussy, and I don't play Twitch. I don't play AP Twitch. We're just covering AD Twitch today. So for the first tree, we've got PTA. In my opinion, PTA is just the stronger Twitch rune. There will be so few games where Lethal Tempo actually outshines PTA. And even if it does, it's because of late game team fights that you hit a champion a metric fuck ton of times and you started spraying down with Lethal Tempo on hit. The sacrifice to your early game is just not worth it. Even in the cases where Lethal Tempo outshines late game. Even then, PTA is strong late game. It scales as a percentage of your damage, 8%. So it still scales into late game. It's an awesome rune. It's really strong. I just would not recommend Lethal Tempo. It's a lot more consistent than Lethal Tempo as well. You only have to auto attack 3 times to get it off. And as I'll talk about in the laning phase, there's a certain trading pattern which you can do to abuse press the attack, which you can't really do with Lethal Tempo. And then Lethal Tempo, the fact that you have to auto 6 times, a lot of teamfights don't even go for 6 auto attacks, you'd find. Sometimes you'll have like chaotic teamfights where it does, but there's a lot of teamfights where you don't even get the 6 autos and you get no value from Lethal Tempo. What you have to put in to get this rune to work is just not worth the reward. So I wouldn't pick it. And just to like add on top, it doesn't even uncap the attack speed anymore, so it's not even fun to run. Like you can't even space guide with it. It's 28% attack speed, fucking whoop-de-doo. Don't go Lethal Tempo. For this next rune, Triumph over Presence of Mind. Absorb Life, I haven't really fucked with Absorb Life very much, but I find that the Presence of Mind mana back just isn't that great on Twitch anymore. Like I still have mana issues if I take this rune and I just start like throwing abilities out left, right, and center like you used to be able to do with the old Presence of Mind. You just don't really get that much mana back. And I think one of the big reasons is the old Presence of Mind would proc for 4 seconds after you've dealt damage to the enemy, an enemy champion or something like 3 seconds. So Twitch's poison would make it last 6 seconds longer. So you got like a bunch of mana back from Presence of Mind. This current Presence of Mind, it's single proc and it's got an 8-second cooldown. Twitch's poison only lasts 6 seconds. So unless you're in combat for 2 to 3 seconds, you're not going to get 2 procs from it with your poison. It'd be really good if you could just auto attack an enemy champion once or like throw a W at them once and you would get 2 procs of Presence of Mind. It's the window's slightly out for that one. So you don't actually get that much you don't actually get that much mana back. Now with Triumph, this will help you win lane essentially. There's so many chaotic 2v2s that happen, or 3v3s that happen early game, especially in skirmishes and lane ganks, and Triumph can help you pull out on top of those fights. Also, the additional 20 gold is nothing to scoff at. You make a fuck ton of money on Twitch with Triumph, especially in like chaotic solo queue games, where you get a lot of takedowns and assists, right? There'll be some games where you make 500, 600, 700 gold from Triumph over the course of the game. It's really underrated how much gold Triumph makes you throughout the course of the game, especially on Twitch, because your window for getting assists on Twitch is 6 seconds longer than your average champion just because of your poison. So you'll find yourself getting a lot of random assists that you probably shouldn't get if you're playing another champion, just because your poison lingered on someone for 6 seconds. So Triumph is just, for me, the better rune. Then you have these three. Alacrity is just, because your ult only lasts 6 seconds, you just want to DPS as hard as you can, and Alacrity helps you do that with higher attack speed. There is a case for Bloodline, especially because Bork is no longer built on Twitch anymore, so Twitch doesn't really get any lifesteal. I can see the case for Bloodline, but I've just found myself after third item just building a Vamp Scepter if I need it and just sitting on a Vamp Scepter, so I don't know. Just take Alacrity. Last row feels really subjective at the moment. I see a lot of coup de grace, I see cut downs, I see last stands. Cut down felt like it made a bit more sense back when you would build Bork on Twitch. As I'll go into the builds, don't build Bork anymore, it's fucking dog shit. It made a bit more sense then because you're doing a lot of like current health damage. I currently take last stand at the moment just because I found it does help a little bit more early, where you get like really low in those early trades, and by the time that you've got 6 stacks of your poison on an enemy champion, you're probably pretty low health, and then your E will do a bunch more damage with last stand. I've just found that it's just done more for me recently. I was inspired to do this by I just looked up like Korean, high elo Twitch players, and a lot of them are running last stand, so I went, fuck it, yeah, sure, I'll do it as well. By the way, there's not a lot of high elo Korean Twitch players at the moment. The champion just ain't there right now. For secondary tree, I run Sudden Impact. It's really good for trading in lane. You can proc it multiple times when you get resets with your Q. And it's just like a really, really solid rune. And then Treasure Hunter, just because I like to snowball. You'll notice there's a theme with this rune page where it's very early game orientated, and it's focused on early game damage, early game sustain, and just killing people, right? Being strong early game. So Treasure Hunter will help you snowball like off those early leads. You got the second rune page, which is which is the Lethal Tempo rune page. Just don't. For all the reasons I've said before, Lethal Tempo is just not worth it. But if you want to go Lethal Tempo, this is probably the rune page you go. Once again, this is subjective at the bottom, but everything else would kind of stay the same. Then you got the Halo Blade setup, which I did experiment with quite a bit last patch. And I gotta say, it does feel pretty good with AD Twitch. And I really narrowed it down to, I think there's two situations where you want to pick Halo Blades on Twitch. Bear in mind, PTA is just still stronger, I think, but it's fun, Halo Blades, and I think it is viable in the right scenario, and it can be really strong. So the first reason why you'd pick Halo Blades is the reason why everyone picks Halo Blades on AD Twitch when they do, is because the enemy team is really, really squishy, and you just want to out DPS and kill them before they kill you. You feel like you don't need the PTA proc, and you definitely don't need the Lethal Tempo. So the enemy team is really squishy, preferably really immobile, and you feel like you can kill them with pretty much 3 auto attacks, more or less. That's the first reason why you would take Halo Blades on Twitch. The second reason, which people don't talk about as much, is if you're versing an enemy team where you feel like your window to engage in a team fight is really narrow before you end up getting shut down by CC. So you're versing a Vi, you're versing a Nautilus, stuff like that. And you just want to try to kill someone as quickly as possible, kill 1 or 2 people as quickly as possible, and then just fucking die to the enemy jungler or the enemy support or some shit like that, right? You can take Hellblaze in this situation to increase the chance that you can kill the enemy carry, kill the enemy mid laner before you end up getting shut down by CC. For a really short window to engage, I think Halo Blades is actually kind of good there. Otherwise, for the rest, all the runes are pretty much the same. For the same reasons as before. Alright, then we got builds on Twitch. So my main build that I go with at the moment is this build right here. Collector is just really cheap right now. It's really strong. There's really no first items that can compete with Collector right now for Twitch. I would just pretty much always run Collector every single game. Other things to note are the gold income on Collector is, once again, nothing to ignore, especially when you're going a snowbally Twitch rune page setup like I'm suggesting. So Collector, you can make a decent amount of money off Collector as well. 45 gold for every kill, 20 gold for every takedown. So another thing to note, Twitch Poison can proc it, so you'll find there's a lot of random ass kills that you get where your poison will just proc Collector and you'll get a kill after you're dead, after you've disengaged from the fight and your team has just finished people off. The poison Collector synergy is quite strong. Also, PTA. The PTA proc damage does a decent amount of damage early game. It does not scale with your AD, but you can increase it with lethality. So your PTA procs, once you get that Dirk Rush early, actually start hitting a little bit harder. So there's a little bit of like added synergy there as well. Then you'll go Rune Ends. I'm not a big fan of going Infinity Edge second. Infinity Edge is so fucking expensive, and the payoff you get once you actually finish it doesn't even feel that good. You're only at 50% crit, and you have no attack speed in that build. So pretty much I would always go Rune End second. Then LDR, not Infinity Edge. LDR is just a much better item at the moment than Infinity Edge is, and also once you've already built a lethality item, you can improve the effectiveness of lethality through building percentage armor penetration. So it'll make Collector do more in this like latter half of the game once you start getting LDR. In this like mid late game once you get LDR. And then it's pretty standard. You finish with Infinity Edge for the 100% crit, and then Bloodthirster last. It's a last item situational depending on what's going on, but most of the time it's just Bloodthirster. And then you've got the shitty build. So the shitty build is Bork Rush. It was already bad last patch with 6% current health on hit damage. I did play quite a bit last patch and it was fine, but it didn't feel great, and Collector just felt better. And now that Bork is nerfed again, I just wouldn't touch it. Even if you're thinking to yourself, okay, the enemy team is a bunch of tanks, I want to be able to kill the tanks. Bork is just fucking useless against it. First off, it's current health damage, so once they get lower than like half health, Bork's not even fucking doing anything anymore. It's not true damage, it's physical damage. It's still affected by the armor of the enemy champions. So I just wouldn't build Bork. Then you go Runan second because you want to play for the on-hit damage. The reason why Runan's Bork is so strong is because on-hit effects work at 100% efficiency with Runan bolts, right? So Bork Runans, every bolt is applying Bork at 100% effectiveness. And then you'll go LDR, not Infinity Edge, again for the same reasons as above, and also LDR will help improve the damage of the Bork on hit. Infinity Edge will not do that. If you want that on-hit percent damage to actually mean something against tanks, you need Armor Pen. So yeah, go Armor Pen third. You go Infinity Edge into optional. Bloodthirst is probably the best option, but you can also just finish out a crit item as well if you want. There's not a lot of great crit items to build last when you've already got these 3 items. And then you have the build that I was running last patch, which hasn't felt this good this patch just because of the Bork nerfs. So you go Bork Runans into Collector. Collector is just strong. Alright, lethality will help increase the damage of the on-hit as well. The important thing is it's just like a much cheaper item. And once you have these 4 items built, you're actually like quite a powerhouse at that point. So honestly, if I was to go the Bork build, I would still run this build over this build. This build is a little less common, but I would do it anyway. And then quickly just to talk about boots. Boots have been nerfed multiple patches. And they're just kind of shit right now. They're expensive and they don't give you a lot of stats. So unless you really need the movement speed, never finish boots before your first item on Twitch. Always rush Collector. It's just not worth it. I'll even have some games where I go Collector Runans before my Berserker's Greaves are finished at that point. But most of the time, the Berserker's Greaves are finished somewhere between the Collector and the Runans. So main takeaway from that is just don't finish it before you finish Collector. Alrighty, so for laning phase on Twitch, the biggest difference between a good and a bad Twitch is how well you use your stealth. Your stealth is an incredibly powerful tool in laning phase, and there's a few different ways you can use your stealth to really make the most of it. The very first one is just walking up to the enemy champion, and as soon as you get close, you just order them once and walk away. This procs your sudden impact in lane, and it just does damage that isn't really, you can't really react to that, especially if you hit them while they're hitting a minion or as they're falling back. So it's a way just to like slowly poke down the enemy in the laning phase, just on repeat. The second way to use your stealth in lane is the main trading pattern on Twitch. You need to get this down if you want to win lane as Twitch because it is really strong, and there's a bit of a timing to it that you just don't want to fuck up. So it's essentially you auto once, you Q, auto again before your stealth actually activates. Now I've hit them twice and my stealth is up. And then you hit them one last time for the press the attack, auto attack, and you do the same thing as before, you immediately pull back. So you can do this at level 1. So what do you do if they're not like a really long range AD carry that can kind of like abuse you in spatial and stuff like that? Even then, like you can kind of make it work. You walk up, you auto, you wait a second, you Q, and you do it again. The reason why you have to wait like a fraction of a second before you actually Q is because if I walk up, if I go up and I Q, I just cancelled my auto attack, right? So make sure you auto, wait a fraction of a second, then Q. What you'll do is you auto, Q, auto, auto again, all right? Just the only thing is just don't immediately Q after auto attacking and you're fine. Anyway, it's a really strong combo. I'll put some examples of me doing it in a real game up on the screen for you to see. Here's an example of me doing it in game. Pretty much what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go up to the enemy champions and I'm going to auto them once. I'm going to start stealthing and I'm going to de-aggro them and get a winning trade-off. This should happen here. So right now he's in range. I can auto him once. I haven't started queuing yet. Q now. Auto again. Now, I'm in the middle of a clusterfuck here, and I have completely de-aggroed the enemy here. I'm like in a situation where I probably shouldn't be. I should take a bunch of damage right here from the center and whatnot, but it's fine because I'm stealthed. Even in the middle of a minion wave, I've de-aggroed all the minions as well. And then you can walk up, get the final auto attack, big trade with the E-proc as well, and you just fall back. And the trade is won. So that's like pretty much like the strength. You can use it to de-aggro enemy minions, de-aggro enemy champions. You can use it to absorb CC as well. if you time the stealth so that whatever CC that you're going to get hit by hits you during the stealth and you don't get hit by other shit going on while you're CC'd, you can use the stealth to keep yourself safe from any CC that's thrown at you. The other thing is bushes. Bushes are really strong at the moment. So if you're autoing a minion and you've got aggro and whatnot, and they've all aggro this one minion, but don't worry about that. If you've got a bunch of minion aggro, you walk into the bush and you de-aggro all the minions. It's pretty basic, but abuse as much as you can. Also, if you want to zone an enemy off minions as Twitch, and you're farming here and they don't want to walk up because you're a threat at this point in time, don't just like stealth up and walk up to them, because they'll just run back and you've just wasted your stealth. And once you have wasted your stealth on Twitch, all your pressure is pretty much gone. It's like blitz hooking nothing is what it feels like. So the better way to do it, sit in a bush, walk out of the bush to auto minions, and then sit back in the bush. The enemy champion doesn't know when you walk back into the bush if you're stealthing or not on them. So you're able to farm effectively as Twitch, and you keep up pressure the entire time because you're constantly threatening your stealth. And once you've done this for a little bit, you can kind of mind game them a bit, and after you end up like killing a minion, walk into the bush and immediately stealth. And then walking out of the bush within like half a second and you're actually in stealth, and if they haven't really realized that, you know, this after not doing it 6 times in a row or something, you've actually stealth, you can get a kill. But as I said, if it doesn't work, you kind of lose all your pressure. So make sure that when you fuck it up and they actually do respect it still, fall back to a bush and de-stealth, right? So just so the enemy doesn't know that you've actually stealthed and you haven't used it yet. Try to fall back to the same bush that you started in. Otherwise, the only real thing is Twitch is a really short range AD carry. So if you're versing an enemy champion and what's the ally? Your ally dummy, sorry, if your ally champion is constantly threatening back in the enemy champion, maybe it's the Nautilus or the Hawk or something like that, don't be back here, right? Don't be back here farming your minions, blah, 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 while your Nautilus is like really up far, because you're a short range AD carry. If your Nautilus lands a hook and ends up hooking himself up here somewhere, you are so out of position you can't carry up on it. It could have been a really good hook, but you're just out of position. So try to stay in a line with your support at all times if you can. It's a bit of a dance with it because there's obviously a higher chance that the enemy team is going to poke you for it, but it's all part of being good at the game. It's just like being able to manage that, staying as far up with your support as you can, so when he lands a hook, you're in range, or you can get there really quickly to be able to follow up. Twitch has quite a bit of like early game damage. High Taxi with his Q, the E does a bunch of damage, and your PTA proc, you can follow up on Nautilus Q really well, you just need to be there for him when he hooks. So that's the other thing, stay in line with your support. Alright, so now we'll get into mid game. The main thing on Twitch in the mid game, and it's the same with pretty much every other AD carry, is just keeping up your gold intake as much as you can. That means catching. You'll usually be mid lane at this point because the AD carries and the support always go mid in the mid game. You do not miss a mid wave, okay? You need to be there for every single mid wave, and you need to push it as fast as you can, alright? Once you push the mid wave with your support, usually, to support you, to make sure you can do it quickly, then you go roam. You roam to a side lane to get a kill, you roam to the enemy jungle with your jungler to pressure the enemy jungle, or the main one is just roaming with your support to help them get vision. So that is pretty much what you're doing in the mid game. Keeping up your gold income as much as you can through catching every single mid wave, catching sideways when you can as well if you don't have like an ally champion there to catch the wave, falling back, especially if you've got Runaan's Hurricane on Twitch. You can take Raptor Camp and Wolf Camp really easily. Side note on that, in low elos, your jungler will throw a fucking hissy fit if you do that and probably quit the game. So suss it out, see what your own jungler's like. Maybe don't do that, but you should. Right. Alright, and then the late game. So there's really not a lot about the late game other than just knowing how to teamfight well as Twitch. The main things you're looking for are flanks. That's the obvious one that people always say on Twitch. You want to try and flank the enemy and just, you know, kill them. You're kind of like an assassin ADC. There's a lot of games where you can't flank the enemy team. They're just not really flankable champions. Or maybe you have a Lulu support and you can just actually front to back like a normal fucking AD carry, and that'll be fine. So the main thing you're really looking for is trying to line up the enemy champions as best as you can, alright? So Runaan's is really good at, if I ult and I auto this middle champion, I get a Runaan bolt on either champion. Really good for AoE, that's great. It's way better when you line them all up. It is astronomically more damage, okay? Even if you can get just 2 champions to line up, always try to go for that. Because, first off, your original auto attack bolt is going to go through all 3 champions. And there's a Runaan bolt going for, I think in this situation, my main bolt is hitting the first one, a Runaan is hitting the second, and a Runaan is hitting the third. These 2 Runaan bolts that are going through this one and this one here are also going to go through all of them. So every single champion here is getting hit by your main bolt and 2 Runaan bolts, right? It is so much more damage. You need to actively be looking to line the enemy champions up in team fights to increase your DPS. Even if it's just for one auto attack, even if it's just for the first auto attack, being able to get that off is just, it's a game changer for team fights. So that's the main thing you're looking for. The other thing, be very careful with your stealth, alright? Your stealth has a very long cooldown as Twitch, and if you want to be able to do something like this, you have to get really close to the enemy team. I can't just walk up to the enemy champion, enemy team as Twitch and just do that, right? It doesn't work like that. You need your stealth to be able to find those openings, right? So do not waste your stealth. Do not be haphazard and just like Q every time it's off cooldown and then just look for openings then. You need to get a feel for the team fight and what's going on and when shit's about to start. When your Q's running out, like maybe ping your team to go in or something like that because you're about to be fucking useless. Just be very careful with your Q usage. The other thing is you need to identify, and this goes for all AD carries, identify what abilities on the enemy team you need to dodge, alright? Or if they're undodgeable, like a Nautilus or a Vi ult, make sure they're used, or the enemy champion is nowhere close to be able to use it before you engage, right? Otherwise, once those sorts of abilities are down, yeah, identify what abilities you don't want to get hit by that are skill shots, like Nautilus Q. And oftentimes the best thing to do is after that first auto attack as Twitch in a team fight, you just walk to the side, right? You just literally auto once and you just walk to the side, all right? Don't try to do like a, you can try to do like a little orb walk to the side to do it. It really like doesn't work that well. There's still like a good chance that you get hit by Nautilus Q given how fat they fucking are. So like, honestly, just auto, and then just walk to the side and you'll just see the Sonar Ult, the fucking Nautilus Q, the fucking Ari Charm. They'll just fly at you and they'll miss. There's like a bunch of shit you need to dodge. Maybe just do that and then start DPSing, right? In the chaos of a team fight, enemies will kind of just throw shit at you. They're not really going to be aiming for, not really going to be trying to like predict where you're juking and stuff like that. The other thing is, do try to move between every ult attack. I see Twitches open up in team fights and they'll just do this. Like, don't do that, all right? You will dodge so many skill shots just by walking between every auto attack. Because people will just miss shit, right? But if you stand dead still and just DPS, you're gonna get hit. So practice orb walking, practice moving between every auto attack. It just makes you slightly harder to hit. Even if you're not trying to dodge a skill shot, you can still dodge skill shots just through orb walking. Now to do this, I use bind auto attack move to left click. I would highly recommend attack move click. Just make sure that this other setting attack move on cursor is on, otherwise it's fucked. And I like the left click attack just because I can left click, right click to kite. Like if I want to kite really fast. It's just really easy to left click, right click. It's accurate. Also, I wouldn't really recommend... I see some Twitches when they have really high attack speed. What they're doing is they ult and then they do this. Like, it works, but your accuracy on who you're auto-attacking is substantially or significantly impacted. You're a lot less accurate. If an enemy champion happened to appear, you know, here or something, or a fucking minion did or something like that, you're going to start auto-attacking that instead. So I'd highly recommend left-click the enemy, right-click to move, left-click, right-click, left-click, right-click. Right? Okay, it's just a lot better. So other than that, that's pretty much like the wrap-up of all the different aspects of Twitch. So like early game to mid-game, items, runes, builds, when to pick Twitch. I'll have like one gameplay video just after this as like a wrap-up where I take you through pretty much like everything I've kind of like shown in this video. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. Yeah, learn a thing or two, and yeah, that's about it. Alrighty, this game we're into Jinami, so usually a fine lane. They can be a little bit aggressive, but Twitch Leona, we can like 100% at level 6 at least. We can absolutely dumpster them. We just need to not lose too much early. Even early, we can, like, Leona can make some plays and we can kill fucking one of them. Other than that, fucking, I hate Udyr with a passion. Hopefully it doesn't become a problem. We got Incursio on Katarina, so that's always good. You love it when Incursio is actually on his Katarina champion. And we have Korean Malphite top lane. So, we'll see how this goes. We got Woofy joining us this game. Hey, Woofy. Wish me luck, Wolf. So this game, I have high hopes for. We have a somewhat decent team comp, and they have a somewhat decent team comp as well. They have Udyr, which I fucking hate. I think my Lee Sin mentioned that he needs to take a shit, so well, hopefully that doesn't impact the quality of our gameplay right now. But anyway, start of every game, I pretty much always ward this bush just to prevent cheeses either from the enemy 5-second this bush fucking early and, you know, invading, or this ward will last until the minions start pushing up, and it will tell us if the enemy bot lane entered this bush to get off a cheese or entered this bush as well to get off a cheese. If you catch them, you can make plays on them before the the wave crashes. If you ping your teammates, so that's if they don't realize that it's warded, which they won't if they don't bring a sweeper. I don't know what the what the fuck's going on in the chat, but anyway, so that's one way to play the lane. I can't say I've ever seen that before. You're gonna let me... Damn, fucking good spacing, Nami. All that for a fucking 40 attack auto. Yeah, important thing is I'm staying in line of my Leona here, who... Oh, I guess that was the downside of the play that she made just before, was that she missed out on some XP from the wavy. Oh, she landed it. Yeah, he should be dead. Oh, she landed that. Nice. Whoa, though that got fucking tight for a second there, but yeah, nice. A little bit of a barrier bait there. She noticed that the minions were getting me very low and wanted to go for a play, but I want to think about barrier. Another thing, Leona, why did you stay, my brother? Did she think I was dead? What an interesting, yeah, okay, well. The wave is nice right now. Now, hopefully Leona doesn't roam. If she doesn't roam... Nice. Nice, didn't have to flash. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my god. Okay, so it turns out Jhin still had everything. Yeah, once again, very odd play on behalf of the Jhin. Pierre, gonna try and freeze it. No reason not to at the moment. just lands it. Only way he lives that is if he lands the W on me, which will do two things. It'll CC me, it'll also give him movement speed. And yeah, always, I prefer to back outside of the bushes, because if, out of habit, because if the enemy is going to check or try to stop your back, they'll usually do it through checking the bushes, either with skill shots or just walking into them. So, oftentimes you'll get backs off that you probably shouldn't have, or you wouldn't have gotten off otherwise if you had tried back in the bush. Anyway, the game's kind of on my shoulders, by the look of it. So... oh, look at this wave. This Jhin is cooked. So here, I'm going to do the thing again. I'm going to threaten stealthing. I don't even have fucking stealth right now, but anyway. I'm going to just consistently keep threatening, stealthing in on the Jhin. Keep the wave here, drop back into the bush to drop the aggro. And we are just going to step out of the bush whenever I need to auto and farm the wave. Now the Jhin right now is killing himself in real life, because he can't play the game, and it looks like he's rage splitting mid. So what we're going to do is we're going to shove the wave, and we're going to try and get a plate. I know there's no threat of anyone coming up to attack me right now, so I'm going to use my Q for attack speed. It looks like we lost it, which is what happens in a 4v5, but my team should have been paying attention, realized that there was a fifth mystery person in that top lane skirmish at 8 minutes, i.e. the fucking ADC, and they shouldn't have gone for the play, because I got a plate. Jhin has missed so much farm, gold, XP, it's crazy. So looks like they're not respecting. This could mean a couple things. It could mean the Udyr is here right now. Or, they're being retarded, but we'll find out, I guess. I think, like, the dragons... Udyr's mid. Can I shove the fucking wave, brother? God, I just want to shove the fucking wave. I mean, I know we're on a bit of a time limit there, but... honestly, it was a completely, like, unnecessary play to go for. Just in general. Yeah, I don't know. Not worth it as well. Wow, this Yone is real fucking fed. You. Damn, he's kind of fast. You gonna walk up? And they got a little close, but I mean, I still had Barry the whole time. The only real worry there is if Jhin had ult and didn't die to my poison just then. That would be a little bit of a fucking issue. An enemy is godlike. Me. Nice, bro. Man, she's not worth very much gold right now. He fucking blast planted. Oh! Get me in there. Jesus Christ. Unfortunately, Mordekaiser still has ult and he may have flash. So. You know Udyr doesn't have flash. Oh, God, I misclicked my barrier so I didn't fucking barrier. That would have got me the final auto that I needed. Yeah, just try to auto-attack the Jhin through the Udyr there. Not too much you can do that game. I can't really, like, frontline there with the Katarina because the Mordekaiser is just going to ult me. Doesn't really work. You'll just get sped up by Nami and it's kind of over. So I have to just, like, go for a flank. Couldn't get a lineup on them just because of the positioning of it there, so I just try to kill the support as fast as I can. Probably should have flashed the Nami ult towards the Jhin. Might have been, like, the little bit that I needed, but... regardless, I pretty much had to 1v5 that fight, and that was going to happen until into their team with how fed they were. Alright, so this game we're up against Lucian Nami. Lucian Nami is a pretty rough lane for Twitch. You just get super fucking abused, but we got an auto support. We can try to make it work. We just need to wait until certain cooldowns are on cooldown, and Nautilus lands a hook. That's about it. That's what we're looking for in the lane phase, and hopefully we can pull out ahead. But yeah, let's see. Ooh. He really just needed to not do anything there. We were kind of... You gonna let me... make sure I'm in line with my... You went too early, Nautilus. Oh, damn, she just got her thing up. I got poison up, so I can't go in. Nice, fine. Yeah, that's good. Oh, God. Wait. Damn, that's so sad. That was nice. What I did there was I noticed the Kindred was very likely going to go for that crab, especially since it just got marked on the map. I saw it like tick over. So if he goes for it, he's pretty low. I also am kind of fed right now, like I've got a Dirk already. I killed super easily. Once again, no need to hard shove here. We can just play it slow. Slow push, let him walk up. Or can we just like go in? Oh, he's so weird. Like, feel free to like the Nautilus can just like when Lucian walked up before he hits like here, just flash Q. Like, it's almost like a guaranteed kill. Okay, the team wants to invade, so I'm gonna hard shove this as fast as I can, and I will come join them. Damn, they're going fucking ham in the jungle right now. Beat bot lane and join the fight like right now. Damn, we got it off. Ugh, damn.
Shut down.
Nice. Just sidestep his ult like as best as I can. We both have the same level of movement speed right now, so it's easy enough to do that. And he kind of fucked up. He went like really aggressive there for a second. But I had stealth and I de-aggroed. So it was fine for me to re-engage. I also like already had like an auto on him, so so I got the PTA proc a little faster. It was just a really good time to like re-engage there. Can't do a whole lot here. Like I'm not strong enough to be able to 1v2 them at the moment. Especially like in a minion wave where Lucian's going to be taking reduced damage because my ult will be going through minions first. He's also Russian Ninja Tabized because he's a, you know, fucking pussy. To each their own, but kind of cringe. Damn! I could have sworn I clicked barrier there. And the Twitch poison, I'm already dead, and the poison just fucking kills him anyway. Nice. That's why we love the collected Twitch poison. And let's have a look. I made 140 gold from Triumph already, and I've gotten maybe 50 gold from Collector so far, maybe a little more. But yeah, look, it's 17 minutes into the game, and I've already got 2 items, and I'm well on my way to my third, my LDR. Also, yeah, that part I tried to block Lucian's ult to save the Nautilus there, which helped a little bit. Don't know why no one else on my team was doing that, but I had to step in a little bit there. So right now we're in the mid game. Arch up the wave, as fast as you can. Go to shit with the team. Oh, there's a fucking Jax up there, Jesus Christ. I was for sure gonna die there if I didn't flash, but unfortunately the Jax was there. So yeah, now I'm taking the side lane right now because why not? Keep up my farm, no bot lane objectives right now, and we got allied champions in every other lane right now, so. And just note, if you can ever get the tier 2 tower by yourself, this shit is worth like a bajillion gold or something like that. Let's see, 675, 700 gold. Aggressive Jax. These 2 games really show the dichotomy of League of Legends. Sometimes you just get, you know, a mid lane that goes 5-1 and 12. Then other times you get the most useless fucking jungle they've ever seen in their life. So both of these games I think were good examples of early games where we got pretty good leads early game, and then game kind of like fell out of our hands in the middle late game a little bit. Last game, shit really fell apart because the other lane's just like fucking dog shit. And this game, we got some pretty good teammates who could hold their own, so we pull through. That team is missing right now. Nice. I mean, my hope from that play was that we can end the game off it. Yeah, that's right, I'm dead. I'd already used my ult, so. More or less useless, but yeah, that should be the game. Nice. Nice, that's game. Yeah, hopefully you'll learn something from that. Yeah, thanks for watching.